Bert.
Yeah.
How are we doing?
Fine, how are you?
Good to see you, man.
Nice to see you, man. I'm really looking forward to this to this interview. How are you going to call this?
Yeah, I don't know. Podcast, interview. Maybe this is going to become a series, guys. But basically, the purpose of this interview right now is to finally give the people the information they've been begging for. And that information has to do with these beauties, the Oracle. So I know most of you watching probably follow the competitive speedsoft, airsoft scene on Instagram or YouTube. And if you've been on there recently, you've seen the word Oracle floating around for sure. We've been teasing it, showing a little bit of, some shots, some angles, but really taking a deep dive. Yeah, no one has really done that yet, and today's the day. So yeah. Before we go into that, for the people who don't know, this is Bert, owner of Monk Customs. I'm a Cringe Airsoft. I've been playing for a few years now here, mostly at the Real Strike Arena for Team USA, Saviors Airsoft. And yeah, so we're here and we're gonna talk about the Oracle. But maybe one thing before we go into that, let's just take a step back and just look at where Monk Customs has come from, because this to me feels like really a new milestone for the brand. And when you think about it, years ago, making, the first custom grips to create a tank grip build and everything like that, did you visualize that you'd be making your own gun, manufacturing it from start to finish, or is it just something that just happened?
First of all, we always wanted to make something that people can build themselves. So for us, it's not the focus to build complete guns. We want to give people shells and what they can use on their gun, but what we want is that people are going to build their own gun. So the only thing we needed to do is give them the tools and to build that. And I think with the Oracle, we succeeded in that. And but before, as you said, like a grip, it's like we always trying to develop things for the sport, for the competitive airsoft. And the only thing that was not there, I think still was not there, was the complete body set to give you a very comfy feeling in the weekend when you're going and play the pro or any division that you play. And you set it up on Friday, and on Sunday when you go home, it's still the same, and that's the focus. And yeah, and that's why we call it the Oracle, because I think it's an Oracle. I think in the airsoft, it is an Oracle what we did with this, and I'm really proud of the team that we managed it to. Yeah, we are all proud. We are so proud when people have it in their hands, and but I hope we can go a little bit deeper in there.
Yeah, you can tell a ton of work has gone in behind this thing. And, one thing, it sticks with me forever is you've told me that everything that Monk Customs done, every product that you release, is because it's trying to solve a problem,
yes.
Right? And this thing, how would you describe it to the viewers watching? What is the problem that the Oracle is trying to solve? If you can summarize that in a few words.
Okay. I'm going to give you just a few words like alignment, weight. I think you need to have the trust in your gun. I think that's very important. But the ergonomics is very important. And if people already have an ESG, they don't have to buy a new ESG because it all fits. Because again, we tried on everything that we build, that is modular, and here too. So this is built for long term. So yeah, that's the focus.
Yeah.
And,
so I hear stuff like reliability.
Yeah.
All right. That's part of the trust thing. You can only trust your gun if it's reliable. And the thing about being able to just slap an existing ESG on there, that to me is just making it accessible for everyone, right? And that's the whole point of this gun. It's really crazy. But yeah, the first thing you mentioned was alignment.
Yes.
So, for the people who don't know, as a player myself, I can tell you that the number one thing which makes a difference in how a gun performs on the field is that alignment. So the nozzle of your engine, how it is centered within your hopup and inner barrel, that makes a world of difference. And in principle, every single gun, every single body is just holding the same internals in a way, but different bodies are aligned differently, and that's where you see that difference in performance. And the Oracle has taken alignment from the baseline and taking it fully to the end design. So maybe explain a little bit how the alignment is better in the Oracle compared to other guns.
Well, the alignment is built on 3 phases. So when we start from the front, the basic, and it's not the most important one, but get balance in your outer barrel. So now the outer barrel is fixed with 4 screws, so it cannot move anymore. That's the first thing. So if you see when you put a tracer on there and you push on it, your outer barrel is going like that. That's a part of the balance that's gone. So now we have it fixed with 4 screws into your upper. Then we have the hopup, and from the hopup, the hopup is always loosened in there, and people fix it with shimming, or people fix it with tape, etc., etc.
Yeah, little pieces of plastic in between, whatever.
So we said, okay, when the fitment is there, we just take, and everything is built on the Max on this moment, so on the Max hopup. So that fitment we put with our CNC machines, and 5X CNC machines is actually the thing that makes this happen. So we made this so fine that when it's there, it's fit there. Then the only thing that matters is how far it's in the back, or how far it's going into the front.
Yeah.
But when it's there, what do you do then? So there are 4 little screws in there where you can tighten up your hop-up.
Yeah.
So, and that hop-up is so important because your engine, your nozzle is going in there.
Yeah.
So when you align that on the way from how far is it away from my inner barrel, or how far is it away from my outer barrel, on the moment when it's there, and how is it aligned with your mag, because when your mag is not aligned, on the moment when you put your mag in there, your hop is going
then
like
you're
that.
pushing everything
It's
out
gone.
of alignment.
So
no, I've seen that multiple times.
Exactly. So what you do now is you unscrew 4 little screws there, make this loose, then you put your mag in there, and on the moment
it's
when
in
you
the
push,
right place.
Then it's in the right place.
Yeah.
When you push, it falls out. Then you just tighten those 2 little screws, and then you're gonna start to align it from the inside with the 4 other ones.
Yeah, where you look down the inner barrel, you look at the nozzle position, and then you can fine tune.
Exactly. Before you do that, then we go to the engine. The engine is already the part where the engine is going in is already on the 1/10 of seconds millimeters is there, but it still could have a wobble. So we created 1 little screw that makes the position, and from there on you start.
So the engine is just fixed. No more gearbox.
Nothing.
It's just like
one
upper with the gun, basically.
Yes, it's in the upper, and from there on you start. I think that's the line of alignment. So that's very important. So you don't need to have the end cap screw to align, or you don't need to have the grip screws to align. That's the basic. That's how now the Oracle works to get your alignment perfect.
Yeah. To me, it's a really logical system. So first, eliminate as much variables as possible which cause problems with alignment. So the first thing is the gearbox, obviously, because it's connected to your grip, it's connected to the rear screw where the stock originally would have been. So do away with that. And then focus in on the hop-up, because the hop-up is basically this meshing of all the components of your gun. It's where your BBs feed into, it's what's pressing against your nozzle, and it's also holding your inner barrel. So really honing in on there and fine-tuning that to get the perfect alignment was such a brilliant idea. So I think this thing, it not only is good and perfectly aligned, but it actually guarantees alignment because of the fine-tuning that you can do.
So everything that could be in the way of alignment, we took off. So we take away the front body pin, because the body pin always has that wobble, and we don't want to have that wobble anymore. So what we created is actually a connection where you don't put it like that, but you just shove it in like that.
Yeah, it just slides in, and then you can't go anywhere.
Then you have a little screw in the front to tighten that can go nowhere, and then there is only 1 back body pin. So on the moment when this is connected, don't forget, in the upper, where the body pin is going through, there are 2 little holes. Even in those holes, we put O-rings, so that the O-rings absorb any.
So there's no wobbling, no shaking.
Nothing is in there. So, well, it's everybody who's trying it. That's the first thing they say. It's you hear nothing, and that all has to do with the alignment. So we took all the things away, the problems away, and we tried to fix it in a fixed way like this.
No, it makes a ton of sense, because I've had people hand me their builds where they're like, yeah, this thing shoots great and everything like that, and then I'm just holding it and just you feel the upper wobbling, you know, you feel that outer barrel just shaking ever so slightly, and you just know that when you're actually running around swinging that thing on the field, that there's no way that it's as consistent as it possibly could be. So this is really, really crazy what you guys have done here. And another thing that just stands out to me is also, speaking of removing unnecessary things, is just how smooth everything is. So there's no more rails, nothing like that, right? Just that's really making a bold statement, I feel like.
Yes, well, because nothing against other products, but like the paintball, I mean, they can have barrels like that because they have a big thing on there. They cannot see where they shoot. They really need to follow the balls, you know. They need to follow the balls. But here, it's different. On the moment when you look, it needs to have, I mean, you cannot look on a round part. You need to have a flat circuit. And that's why we made this as flat as a slide. And just one little helping side to give you a thing, but on the end, you need to watch and you need to look over your
definitely your field of view now is much more closer and down below over your inner barrel, so it's much easier to follow your BBs, especially if you're playing with a little bit of drop. Then you want to really be able to see flat over your gun so that you can see where the end of that trajectory is actually going. So yeah, super crazy. Another thing, speaking about the smoothness, right? It's not only that there's no rails, nothing like that on the outside, but it's also just how everything that you interact with the gun. So just where your hand is right here, where you hold it here, there's no more gaps, right? There's like literally, it feels like everything is just meshed perfectly together.
You know what took the most time of that? What you just said? Hold it back again. And what normally in a gun is not is uncomfortable is where your finger is. And here we really make this complete. There is no obstruction, nothing.
No.
And you can hold it like that. It stays. I mean, it doesn't hurt on your finger. So exactly, it's a perfect fit. But even here, it needs to be a perfect fit. So
yeah. So even though these are separate parts, yes, you're adding an ESG on it, it really feels like one gun. It feels so solid, there's no wobble, and that's part of what you were saying, that you just have trust in this thing. You have trust that it's well put together, you have trust that it's reliable, and you have trust that every single BB you shoot out of there is going to be flying straight and true.
Where you want it to go.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Well, it's very important what BB you use, but I think from there on, we have to take the responsibility that it's going where it is.
Please don't shoot 0.12 gram BBs out of your Oracle and then complain that it's not performing as it should. Okay,
exactly.
you need to shoot the best if you're going to use the best. I mean, there's so many things we could talk about this gun. We will take a deeper dive where we actually take it apart for you guys and show you exactly each component that we were talking about. But maybe first we can talk about, just because I know this is what the viewers want, is when is it coming out? What are the packages that are going to be available? And basically when can people get their hands on this?
Well, the good thing is that we're going to launch it on the first Pro Division, so next week, Saturday. We're going to launch it officially. We've start with four. We're going to start with 4 colors. We're going to start with gloss black, matte black, raw. So we have so many questions of people who say, we want to have a raw build, etc. So no anodizing. It's your responsibility for scratches, etc. But people want to have their own thing and maybe anodize it on their own way, or let it. But that's how we're going to bring it, and we're going to bring it in silver, full silver. We're not polishing the engine like we did here. This is but people can go nuts on this, and they can do whatever they want. That's why we decided, we really had many questions for those raws, and that's why we decided we're going to make a limited part of those raws and be crazy, so the people can do their own fantasy with it, and that's actually the idea of that.
So the raw is basically a blank canvas for those creative types who just want to have a pink and purple and whatever Barbie gun.
Well, if you want to Cerakote it, or if you want to anodize it, or you want to go to to some artists to do that, because we are not anodized artists and we're not that, But yes, and then we're going to give the option of splatter, of course, because the fingerprint of Monk Customs is splatter. And so the body will be anodized and the splatter will be Cerakote. So if you want to, so we're going to do the red, the blue, the white, the green splattered as standard on there. So you can choose from that. And yeah, that's those are the 4 colors where we're going to start with. But yeah, this one, it's a pity because I didn't have it on time, but can you imagine a black engine in this?
Yeah, fully murdered out would be crazy like that.
Exactly.
People wouldn't be able to handle that at all.
It's yeah. So those are the 4 colors that's coming out of that.
Yeah, so one thing that I really like about the colors is actually the fact that it's anodized. It's such a nice finish, and you just, when you feel it, you just know that it's gonna last so long. It's gonna last forever. So I think this one right here was the glossy black, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, and then the one we have behind it is the raw. Yeah. Maybe I think, we have them laying here. Here are the different ones. So this is, compared to the raw, this is the actual anodized silver. So still silver, but actually this one is anodized. And then here is the matte black anodized. So really, really, really cool stuff. I think it's almost too hard for me to choose which one I like more, because I look at the raw and then I'm like, yeah, that's so nice, so shiny. Look how it's...
Can you imagine that you can actually combine things that you want? We're not gonna give that service yet, but if you're gonna put a raw or a matte on this one, and you can combine whatever you want. If you have a silver grip with a black upper and I don't know what, but that's the modular thing where we're talking about that you decide how you're gonna look. We just start with this, and we're gonna bring some extra news, but I cannot talk about this. But there is an artist. There's an artist in this world. I'm flying over soon. And we're gonna do some limited special editions on these guns.
Yeah, that's really gonna be a unique thing when the people can finally see that. But so like Bert said, it's gonna be the first Pro Series event that it drops. So I think that should be the 22nd of February.
Yes.
They're gonna drop in 4 colors, so matte black, glossy black, anodized silver, and raw.
Yes. First 50 batch.
Yeah. So 50 guns only, right?
Only
that's
now
the first drop.
That's the first drop.
Okay.
So there are, I don't know exactly, but I think there are 15 matte, 15 matte, 15 gloss black, 10 silver, and the rest is raw. So from raw we have some extra if they want, but that's the first drop.
Yeah. So I can imagine that they're gonna have to be really quick if they want to get the color that they want. And about the packages, so I think, let's say you're someone who already has an ESGR.
Yes.
Is it going to be available as just like the upper, lower kind of gun setup, or do you need to sell it with the ESGR? How does that work?
We're going to bring 2 packages. So it's one as you see it as here, without the engine exactly. But it's going to be the upper, the lower, the handguard, the outer barrel, and the grip, and the end cap. That's one, and then we're going to do one without the grip and the ESGR. So in this one, the ESGR is in there and the grip is in there. So those are the 2 models, and there's a price difference, but you decide yourself if you're going to take it for that.
Yeah. Is it something that we can release now, the price, you think?
I think we are working hard, because I don't want to make this interview too long, but I think it's very important that I want to tell that the biggest difference to make this happen is that we decided at the end last year, that if we're not going to change something on pricing, if we're not going to change anything in how we as Monk Customs want to be closer to the customers, it will not happen, because then you have to pay so much money for this gun. It's ridiculous. And that's why we decided in everything that we are only working with partners, but those partners are not wholesalers. They are really partners. They are service partners, like Kyle from High Copper Hub. They're gonna take care to give the service on the highest level, but they are not wholesalers. So we stopped doing the B2B and we only do B2C.
Now you're saving that.
We're saving that, and we're gonna give that to the end customers.
Got it.
And I mean, a lot of people already are teasing like, you will be crazy about the price. I think we did what we promised, and yes, the price what we're gonna bring now is how you see it here, without the engine and without the trigger. With the ESGR on there, it's gonna be $799. So, and if you're gonna take it without, it's gonna be $699. And yeah, beat that. I would say that it's like, this is what you can do if you cut out the B2B, and not from there. I understand it, but we are really in a niche market, and everybody wants to sell it. But on the moment when you do that, you need to make money, you know. And
yeah, of course.
But everybody needs to make money. So then the product is getting too expensive, and I promise you that an ESGR was 329. Now we can sell it for 199. It's like the margin that you need to put on.
It's night and day. It's night and day.
That's it. So we made that decision. I'm happy that we made that decision, that we go B2C only, and the teams, because we're working with teams together now with they're getting their own websites. I want to say this because the coolest thing of that is that the teams that are sponsored by Monk, they're gonna get their own builds. So they're gonna get their own color combinations. They're gonna get, and you can only get them on their website. So there will be some extra colors involved with that. But yeah, those are the prices. And what do you think?
Yeah, I think those prices are crazy.
I remember that face when I first told you that.
Yeah,
that was like,
it's actually unbeatable, you guys. So that means if you have already a build with an ESG, you can basically, for $699, switch over all your internals, switch over your grip, and then you just have the best performing gun that you will need for the rest of your speedsoft career. Or if you just want to get into it for $799, I'm sorry, but it just doesn't compare to anything else right now on the market. So really revolutionary.
Thanks.
Yeah.
That was the idea about it.
Yeah, so stay tuned, guys. In just about a week, you'll be able to get your hands on these. Probably by the time you see this video, it might even be less than that. So make sure you get out there and get yourself the Oracle. So thanks, Bert.
Thank you, man.
Later.
Oracle. Built for the player within.